If I can get one of you girls to jump in there so I can see what the audio sounds like. Hopefully it sounds good. But today we are rebuilding the PC. And the reason why we have to rebuild, yep, I'm talking to you. And the reason why we have to rebuild the PC is because we want to install the 4K 60 Pro on shorts. And the reason, so what we have to do is we actually have to tear everything out, motherboard included. Tony, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream as we're getting ready to tear, pretty much this is the streaming PC and we have to tear everything out of it. So, eventually Dubs is going to be joining us and he will be cameramanning it up for me. Until that time, I'll kind of do it myself. You've been wanting to build your own? Oh, nice. Well, you'll get to kind of see an odd rebuild here because I do have to take pretty much everything out, but not everything. But we have to get it all the way down to the motherboard, which I just dropped the old box. So we can see what we're working with here. So CPU is going to be there. This is the water cooling, which we have to unfortunately take all out. RTX 3060 and our other card there. Mr. Sai, what's up, buddy? How much did I spend on the rebuild itself? I spent close to 700 on the rebuild. The rebuild was everything outside of, let's see, it was everything other than the graphics card and the power supply. Graphics card that we're running is the 3060 Ti. That, again, we're just replacing the motherboard currently, is what we're after. But unfortunately, we have to replace everything, right? Because we're doing the motherboard, we have to tear everything else out. So what we're going to start with is the capture card, which is what got me into this in the beginning. Got me into this kind of trouble to begin with. So what we need to do is grab a couple bowls over here for screws. Screw number 1 in. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. I'm using brand new mics, lavalier mics, these newer lavalier mics here. Oh, anybody can be tech savvy, Tony. Anybody can be tech savvy. Until Dubs gets here, the chat's gonna be a little delayed. Audio's good? That's good to hear. Chat's gonna be a little delayed until Dubs gets here. Then he can help me with the chat. So, this is the internal capture card that we use currently. This is the Elgato HD 60 Pro. It allows for 60 FPS. We'll see here. This at the bottom is a PCI slot that goes into the motherboard. We're upgrading this to the 4K 60 Pro, which I will show you what it looks like here. It's going to look very similar, almost identical, as a matter of fact. Here's this the 4K 60 Pro, but you'll see here at the bottom how the teeth are a little bit different. That's what our problem was there. In the PCI Express slot that we used to install this particular capture card, it needed to be faster. It needed to be able to support the bandwidth of this one, and it did not. So that's why we're doing this today. So this right here, we see the RTX, that's going to be our graphics card. That's what we use to play games. We also use it to encode our streams. So that's really the bread and butter of the PC, is this graphics card right here. I bought this on Newegg for $360 refurbished. I am not against buying products that are refurbs. I always look at it as like, if there's something wrong with the product. Did I not put a screw in that one there? Am I already losing my mind? I put the bowl over here with the screw in it. I always look at anything that's manufacturer refurbished as, if there's something broken with it, they already fixed it. Okay, graphics card there. Gonna be kind of hard to show. Graphics card here. This is an RTX 3060 Ti. Not a bad card. For anybody who wants to know what that means, it's just the 3060 is kind of a lower end model of graphics card. Ti is kind of an upper skew of that same model. So it's a little bit better than a regular 3060. However, you know, we're talking, for the most part, 1080p. 1080p gaming. Oh yeah, yep. Everything's gonna be redusted out right now, so everything's gonna get a nice wipe down while we're in there. So I'll show you guys what the internals of the actual motherboard itself without the PCI or the two cards in there. So underneath here is where our one M.2 drive is going to be. Under here is where our second M.2 drive, which is a hard drive. This is our water cooling and our RAM. All this stuff again has to get out. The motherboard, funny enough, that we're going to put in here is going to look exactly the same. So identical. And again, once Dubs gets here, we'll be able to have another cameraman here to actually help me out. Let's get all the main components that we want out first. This one's probably slightly too large, screwdriver wise. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out our two hard drives, which are our M.2 hard drives. And I'm not sure where I put my other screw set here. Well, whoops. Drop that. Gonna use this. It's just a little longer, but a smaller screw. So pull this out here. This here is a heat sink. It's actually sticky right there. This helps keep this hard drive cool. Because these little M.2 hard drives, they tend to, they can generate a little bit of heat. Flip the switch and pull this bad boy out. So here's our main hard drive. That's what our hard drives look like nowadays. And what we're going to do is, I have a little Sharpie. We're just going to put a little dot on here so I know that this particular hard drive is our main hard drive. So this is our Windows boot drive. And we don't want to get things mixed up here. Now we're going to take off this cover. We're going to take off this cover here. This cover here is where our other hard drive is going to be. You can see that's where this one was. That's the little latch right there that we pulled off. So we're going to take this one off. Let's replace our old M.2 cover there. I was going to wait for Dubs to come over, but this is going to be quite the process anyway, so when he does get here, if and when, hopefully we can at least have a bit of a head start on what we're doing. You can see here's the other heat. This is a heat spreader. One side is sticky. And that is housing our other M.2 hard drive. I'll see that bad boy right here. So there's another hard drive that was underneath it. This is that little flip tab. We flip it down or up and the little card pops right up. Slide it out. That's it. That's the beauty of M.2 SSDs right there. That's the beauty part about that. So we're going to go ahead and set this over by our other hard drive. What we're going to do is set them on top of that box there. Okay. I'm going to reinstall this plate. And then comes the difficult part, which is removing everything that we installed 7 months ago, but not just removing that. Apparently getting the screw back in is quite difficult. What we're going to do is also, we have to, the nerve-wracking part is take out the CPU, put it in, clean it up, put it in on the new motherboard. And that's going to be the nerve-wracking part. You guys see just my dome in the way there? That one's in, which means that one will be in, and in. Okay. Nice and snug. Make sure that one's nice and snug. All right. So, clean up our workspace here. Check out what chat has to say. Nothing new, which is fine. Now, realistically, we just have to start unplugging everything. So we'll start from the bottom. Down at the bottom, we have our case front panel. This is for our graphics card. Over here is our RGB and our front panel I/O down here. So down there was our front panel I/O, our RGB, and this is our on and off switch. Right here is our USB 3.0 header, This is our hard drive header. This is our USB Type-C header. These are our RAM, and then we're going to leave the water cooling and the CPU for last. And then up here is our CPU header for power. Gotta make sure all that stuff gets plugged back in. Let me do that. Just send Dubs a text message saying that I'm live and ready whenever he is, that we're already working. So now let's just go ahead and unplug everything. Some of these plugs were much more difficult to plug in than others. Like that one's giving me a wee bit of trouble. Okay. That was the motherboard giving me a bit of trouble there, but we got that popped out. The pump fans here. Get that sucker to slide out. Okay. These are our RAM that we should just be able to pop right on out. So this is what our RAM looks like that we're running. They are RGB. We did pay a little extra for RGB. Okay. And for the most part, everything's been unplugged, other than two things. The two things being the water pump and the water pump on the CPU. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this had its own custom like mounting system on here that I probably don't remember exactly how to remount, but we'll figure it out. Put that in our other bowl over here. Sounds like we have a cameraman here today. There he is. Our cameraman has shown up. My sister. No, I just started early. I'm going to clip that on anywhere on you.
Anywhere.
Okay. So.
How sensitive are these things?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Like if I clipped it up here on my hat bill, it'd be alright?
Oh, we'll find out. Only one way to find out.
It's the beast. What side you want me on?
Whatever side you want. So then there's our CPU. We're going to have to go ahead and clean that off. These are our mounts. And I think they just screwed in, but
Fancy.
it's been a minute. It's been 7 months since I've done this, so.
7 months.
All right, now what we're going to need is to clean off this thermal paste, we can just use regular isopropyl alcohol. 99 is preferred. You can go all the way down to 70, but I'm just going to use, this isn't even open, it appears. Figured, Doug, I'd try to get a head start on this so we can possibly get some gaming tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down.
And you know, I had nothing else going on, so.
I don't know if I messed up your adjustments on this thing or not. I just had my hand on that knob thing.
No, you can just hit the arrows to, like the little knob to fine tune the arrows if you like.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's in good condition but has dust.
Yeah, one of my CPU or my GPU. Okay. Cleaned off. So then now, looks like we're gonna have to take out the actual this up here, which, if I remember correctly, I think it's all one thing. So we're about to find out. Did I just smash my big screwdriver? Or did I move it somewhere? Yep, I moved it somewhere. Okay. I don't remember if these screws hold in the fans as well.
Hopefully it don't drop out on you.
But we're about to find out. Nope, they do not hold the fans in as well. So this just mounts the radiator, which is good. So we had Mr. Silence in there for a second. Don't know if he's still there.
Yeah, it said sounds great earlier. So you got 4 people watching right now. What are you on YouTube?
Yeah. YouTube Shorts.
Yes, sir. Silence still in the building. What up, Si? Chilling, brother. We're chilling. Watching the man do his thing over here.
Sai, how does he sound? Does he sound good?
Audio sounding all right there, Mr. Si. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking
He
about.
said sounds good.
Yep.
Good.
That sounds great.
These little TikTok microphones.
TikTok microphones for the dub.
Yeah.
Crystal clear, zero cracking. Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. So yeah, they do work on my hat bill. That's cool. Good catch.
That's how COVID got started, ladies and gentlemen. Don't put things in your mouth.
Get a closer look up in there. See the good, all the good stuff up in there.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we need to clean that off. A little bit more alcohol so we don't make a bigger a bigger mess than we're already trying not to make.
This little gimbal thing you got here is pretty nice.
TikTok shop.
Pretty nice. TikTok shop, man, got everything, dude.
TikTok shop bought that before we went to Disneyland.
Is that where you got your little air blower we got at work too?
TikTok, not the one from work, but this one right here. The one from work was Amazon, but same kind of idea.
Yeah.
Right. So, I would really like to not have to disconnect all these fans, but mostly because I don't want to forget which one we've undone. Looks like we're gonna have to. Which sucks. Okay. Let's see if we can't just get that to go over here. Quick and out of the way. I like it. So, this plug right here is why we had to take all of it out. That plug and then all the screws that are attached to the motherboard. And then we're pretty much go time to do this all in reverse.
Yeah, just like when you built my PC. I'm glad you know how to do all that stuff. Because I sure don't.
We only know how to do something when it turns on successfully.
Mine turns on.
No, I'm just saying, like is it,
Yeah.
when you turn it on, then that's when you're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Prior to that,
Trial and error.
you just hope everything
Back
works.
steps. Yeah, I hear you say. I got no PC knowledge whatsoever, bro. If it wasn't for Mr. Chalk here, I'd still just be playing the regular old Xbox. No PC games, no streaming, none of that good stuff.
That's what some people are for.
Yeah, I like this gimbal, bro. I can zoom down like that, get you a nice over the top view here. Probably a little shaky right there.
But still, that's what the gimbal's for. It's to
Stabilize it.
help people with, like myself and maybe you,
The shakes.
naturally shaky hands.
Yeah, bro, I definitely got the shakes. Getting old sucks, bro. I think about a lot of our customers that come in when they're trying to like work the keypad up front there at the register. I'm like, man, it's only a few more years. I'm gonna be shaky.
Yep, sooner than later.
Catches up to all of
Sooner
us.
than later. Motherboard is out. I just need to see if... Oh, maybe not. This may have just used the original back plate. So that's a win. Yeah. Yeah, these screws screwed right on the original standoff. Okay. This is for the water pump. Had its own custom screws there. Now what we're gonna have to do is, I dropped the other box earlier. When I was sliding stuff around. Drop the other motherboard box.
Always save the boxes.
That's the most delicate part right here.
Yeah, don't mess that thing up.
On either of them, actually. Set this there. Technically, you're not supposed to do this, but
Do what? I didn't see nothing.
we're gonna do it anyway.
So nice. So nice. Hey, yeah. PC build, baby.
And now, the new motherboard, which is, I hope, the answer to all my problems here.
What's your problem?
First world problems, can't record in 4K.
Hmm.
First world problems,
Yeah, we need that 4K.
minor problems. And to the keen eye, the motherboard looks exactly the same.
It definitely looks brand new.
Definitely does look brand new.
Oh, shiny.
But the motherboard is brand new. We have it's the exact same motherboard, except for it's just a skew higher. So technically, it's technically better, but it will look, identical. Everything's cleared. Nothing's underneath that's going to make it short. Okay.
Making progress. Making progress.
Middle screw always in first. Middle screw here actually has a weird latch that if you stood the computer up.
Oh, dude, you want me to go get my Fantech screwdriver?
No, it doesn't matter to me.
My electric? I'll go grab
Does
it
it
real
have
quick if you want.
a torque setting where things won't get too torqued down?
Yeah, I believe like the little
If
twisty knob thing.
If it has a torque setting thing, but that would only be really needed for the water cooler. See, I think we have a rogue cable underneath. Type C. Type C header underneath. Now, when I originally built this PC, I absolutely would have liked to have that one because there were so many screws. Because I had to put all the screws in for the water pump and everything.
Yeah, I totally should have thought of that sooner. Dude. I don't know why I didn't. Like, oh, I have that thing. I see you screwing that. I'm like, wow. Oh yeah, I have the electric thing. kid. So that's what they're used for?
Oh, honestly, I probably won't need it.
No?
To be honest.
Well, I'll just have her run it over real quick.
Nah.
It's a whole 15 feet across the street.
It is a whole 15 feet across the street. But I don't really think I'll need it.
Well, if you do, just say the word.
Last one in.
Giving me flashbacks of working at the Geek Squad.
Yeah. All right. Second stressful part of this whole thing is putting the CPU back in there.
That was one thing I wish I would have learned down there when I worked at the Geek Squad, was the PC side of everything.
Yeah, they didn't show you that?
They offered me to, but I was too busy driving and doing the warehouse crap.
Too busy not thinking that it was going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, not thinking I'd ever, use that.
Pops off just like that. Means we did a touchdown, we didn't hear no
Yeah, nope, nothing cracked,
so
nothing broke.
we're good. We're going to wait for putting on the thermal paste towards the end here.
Just don't be like the people online and leave the plastic piece on, no thermal.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not working.
Or why it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Toughest one out of the way.
What does this trigger do right here?
I think it takes a photo,
Oh, I don't want to do that.
but I've been wrong before. Fans back in. See, I unplugged this, and that's why I was like, I don't think I want to be unplugging stuff. Because I bet you I lost something back behind. Which is alright for now. Type-C back in. Mechanical hard drive. This was a bastard when everything was in the way. USB 3.0. This was also a tough one, even when everything wasn't in the way. So we have a pro and a con to having this case versus having your case. And the pro being your case is, this case is a little slimmer than your case. That's the pro. The con being case is a little bit more tougher to work in.
Yeah, a little tighter.
A little tighter. Especially when we're trying to do these particular headers right here.
Yeah, yours is definitely a little taller and thinner, and mine's shorter and
It's
stockier.
Definitely thinner.
But I like the old fish tank, it does me well.
The old fish tank is a good tank.
It does well.
Get that sucker back in there. And then we can pull that back out. Okay. Just like that. All right. Move this out of the way. Front panel. We'll do that when we have a little bit more light. Unplugged in RGB, because you gotta have RGB.
Of course. Doesn't run smooth without the RGB.
This is true. Can't get maximum frames per second.
Nope.
Without RGB. Alright.
RGB stands for really good video.
Pretty much. I felt like I unplugged this from some place that I shouldn't have, but it's probably from the water pump. So, probably from this thing here.
I am interested to see how the water stuff does work on these things.
Me too. Graphics card in the fan. Front panel. Check, check. Let's go ahead and plug in everything else. All right. So this is the power for the motherboard. Everyone has to have one. We'll put our RAM sticks back in. I heard a little hack on putting the RAM in because one side's longer than the other. But if you find the one with the sticker, it should go to the out.
Sticker outside, guys. Sticker outside.
It should. And I think I had them in these two slots. But if I didn't, oh well.
Does it make a difference?
It does. So there's this thing called dual channel. Maybe this sticker's going on the inside. There's a thing called dual channel. Just helps the RAM talk a little better.
The hack lied to you. Stickers inside.
Yep. Stickers inside.
We're giving false information, people. Stickers inside.
Click, click. We're in.
In like flame.
All right.
RAM
Plugged in,
sticks
plugged
looking
in.
good.
Front panel while we're here. Remember when I said I paid for a different case versus yours, so my front panel is one plug?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them tiny little things. Yeah. Hopefully that's right.
You won't know if they're wrong until you get it all done and try to turn it on, huh?
Yep. That's the crappy part about all of this. Won't really know until we try.
And how are you gonna know, like, if something doesn't work, what the problem is? You just gotta go back all the way through and
Yep.
see what you messed up on somewhere, hopefully.
Yep. And hopefully we didn't, hopefully nothing was shorted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Make sure you de-shock everything. Thanks, Sean. It's Friday. Got no work tomorrow.
Agreed. Thanks, Sean. It's Friday.
We are getting Amir back Monday?
No.
Oh, man.
Not this Monday.
Following Monday.
Not that Monday either.
Really?
The Monday before Christmas. 23rd or something like that.
Good old Lori back.
So these here are heat sinks for M.2 hard drives. I explained it when you weren't here, but that pretty much just helps them get cool because they're just a memory card, so they get roasty toasty. And there is 3 in there. Perfect. I was hoping that there was going to be 3 in here because otherwise I may be in trouble.
We got 3 people. We got 3.
And the main reason why I might be in trouble is a bandwidth issue, where I have overloaded too much stuff in here, and with my new hard drive that I'm putting in right now, doing all this makes my thing that I'm adding in here to do all this 4K stuff wouldn't work.
Oh,
So, like, there's a gamble. There's always a possibility that I'm doing this and have to take this hard drive out.
Oh,
so Dubs might get an M.2 hard drive.
I'm sure I could use it. Let's hope it works for yours first.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hope it works. It should be fine, but only one way I can really know for sure. I don't feel like I'm in. I am not. I'm slightly missed.
Oh, this thing turns left and right too? Dang.
Yeah.
Fancy camera gear.
Once that's in, then we're good here. It was like $50 or something
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
on TikTok. These microphones, if they're as good as everyone says they are, they were $80, so that's not too shabby.
Looking good.
That's not too shabby. Okay.
Slide this over here so I don't trip on it. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. That was right up in the mix, boy.
So now we got to take these brackets out. This, if you had a fan, you would clip the fan or mount the fan onto this. Sometimes, not all the time. Depending on it, it would take its own proprietary mounting system, which is what we're...
It gets super hot right there.
That's the CPU, that's the brains, that's the thing that gets... One of the 2 items that gets super hot. The other item being the graphics card.
Yeah, card. So we want to keep that thing cool.
We do. That's why we're going to take the time and apply brand new thermal paste to it here right after I put this other last screw in.
Nice.
What we will do is once everything's kind of, I'll put a couple screws in for the radiator and we'll put everything in, and then we'll plug it in, turn it on,
Yeah.
see if everything works.
Don't tighten it all down just yet.
Don't tighten everything down.
Yep. Applying the thermal paste. Now, is there a certain amount of paste you want to put on, or just a good glob? Or
There is. So depending on...
I see you had a little syringe there, so I imagine there's a number or something you got in your...
Depends. So it depends on the actual thermal paste itself.
Oh, gotcha.
And the cooler itself. So we want to evenly spread this out. You can do a big pea size in the middle, and when you push it down with pressure,
Let it spread itself.
it will spread itself. But we're gonna attempt to take the time
Do it right.
and get it all around. And then we'll put a little bit on the heat, like the actual water cooler itself, to make sure. Most things when you get them brand new, cooler wise, so even this one, water cooler, will have some pre-applied, but not all. Have the thermal paste pre-applied. Like your fan that we installed on yours, thermal paste was pre-applied. We just want to make sure we get a good coverage on everything we can. Thermal paste, generally speaking, is not conductive. So if you accidentally get some somewhere,
not gonna hurt nothing.
it shouldn't hurt anything.
You coated that bad boy pretty good. Good, nice layer.
We try.
It's a good one. It's good.
We try. So we're going to. The front part was not like working with me. It was just telling me that I had to take it out without realizing I had to take it out, kind of deal. So then you want this to mount in like that. Then we have all kinds of cable management to fix.
Fun. Cable management.
Beautiful. So when I got this actually had the thermal paste on it.
Applying some more
Here.
paste on that piece.
Just to be safe.
That's the water cooler piece.
This is the cooler itself. So then when we go in here, bracket there, bracket there, bracket there, bracket there. So that's the thermal paste. That's the main thing.
Glory.
Huh?
Shiny beauty.
Yeah.
So there it is in all its glory.
And all that's something. If there was a Torx wrench, this is where you'd want one.
Make sure that thing's buttoned down.
Everything's evenly pressed. Even with all the thermal paste on here in the world, if it's not evenly,
You got one side up a little higher than the other.
yep, you're gonna have high temps. And like last night when we were playing, my temps were 59. That could have been graphics card, it could have been CPU. I don't know exactly what it was showing off, but we want the right temp. We want close to 0. So 59 is pretty close to 0. Just, not finger tight, but just tight enough so you don't have to really wrench down. No. So then now, let's get all these cables that we had. This is CPU. This was its own RGB. So it appears that we unplugged something. I don't remember where we unplugged it from.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to have to... I may have unplugged it from right there.
Yeah, that looks like
Because these two look like friends. So we'll figure that out here shortly. That was the one pain in the butt thing about this. Like, this particular case fit exactly this size of radiator, but because it fit exactly the size of radiator, like to the nose, there wasn't much room left over. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put one of these screws in so we can clean up everything else. The best part about having a nice gaming rig is it gotta look good.
Yep.
Gotta look good.
Unless you're going for one of them like sleeper builds.
Unless you're going for, but even then, like the sleeper bill itself, you're purposely making it look bad. Therefore, you're trying to make it kind of look good in a way. You know what I mean?
Said, is that AIO crosshair or Corsair?
This is an AIO. This is not a Corsair AIO. AIO would just be, AIO is a term for water cooling. I forget the company. It's like $109 or something, which is another reason why I bought it, because it was actually a pretty great deal. Got freaking thermal paste on that. Of course I did. So let's look. I think these two have to be plugged into here. Let me go clean the key. Who asked that question?
Uma?
Uma, gotcha.
That's how you say it? UMMA?
Yep. Uma. We have all these little... So this is definitely from the fans. That's definitely AIO. So we're going to have to undo that one single screw, which is why we did it that way. And we're probably going to have to consult the manual here, because it would appear that the RGB header for this has been moved. Thing does not want to go in. Oh, it's only a 3-pin. That's probably why I'm having such an issue. All right. Inside every motherboard is generally a manual, and the manual is going to give us a little bit more information on some things, usually the preferred RAM slots to put stuff in and so on and so forth. The last time I did this, I do remember the manual being not very helpful.
That's not good.
No, not usually. And it's about as helpful as it was last time.
It's like reading Chinese to me anyway.
Well, to be honest, that was like reading Chinese to me too. We are going to trust our random knowledge of things. Those pins are so small that
Pro connected.
What?
You just got an alert on your phone that said AirPods Pros were connected.
Okay. Unless anyway, AirPods were connected to the, we're charging. All right. Got a couple. One too many wires in the way. Let's take these 2 screws back out.
Much more plugins up top.
Yep. So we have a C.
Got all the good stuff.
We tried. On this particular case, I really did try. I made sure that, like, it could fit a water cooler if I wanted it to. It had Type C. Also, USB 3.0. I really, while also having it on sale.
The mystery plug.
Well, it's definitely a power plug for here.
Just don't know where it's supposed to go to.
We're gonna hope it goes there. We are gonna hope it goes there. RIP cable management.
That is quite a bit of cables in a small area.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, when I did this the other time, when I did this, I actually did it from the back side.
Flip it around.
No, I mean, like well, you know, I had to wire,
Oh,
I wired everything up. So I wired everything up from the back side.
It's congested.
It was very congested.
Congested.
For now, we'll move that there. Just to get that from there.
All them wires. We're just in that tiny little space.
Yep. So for now, again, we're going to put that 1 screw in so we can flip it around and see what's actually snagging us. Move you out the way, move you out the way. This in just for stability, and we're going to put 1 more in the corner for the same reason, just some stability. And then, even though Well, let's plug in the graphics card. Double check, make sure everything's plugged in. Then we're gonna go turn it on. Make sure everything turns on and everything moves. And then once we can verify all of that,
start tightening her down.
This is the RGB. So now I should be able to see this a little bit easier. RGB in. Okay. Last time I just tucked it there. Graphics card. Make sure that this is down. That is down. That is opened.
Drink more water, bro. Every time I drink water, my body's like, thank you.
Right?
I needed that.
I know that.
Too much soda and too much Red Bull.
Alright, and for the heck of it, the 4K card. Now the 4K card, unfortunately, I have to move one thing. Big screwdriver, small screwdriver, screw it. And we'll need 2 screws for that anyway. Turns out that this screwdriver is not magnetic.
I was gonna say, no magnet?
How so disappointed I was when I first built this PC and then that particular card didn't plug in. That thing didn't turn on.
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, I couldn't figure out what was happening and why it was happening, and then I researched it, and motherboard was the issue, which I had just spent several $100s on the motherboard. I'm like, and so I had to, do I redo everything like I just did? All right, well, leave her there, Doug. We'll see here.
Bringing her over here.
Okay. So the only things that we really care about right this second are this small circular one, which should go, actually, we just want this one and this one. All right. Moment of truth, here we go.
Fire it up. We got power. I see lights. I hear fans.
I hear some fan ticking though.
I do hear something clicking. Not clicking no more.
Graphics card. We have lights on. Don't know if I plugged in the right monitor. Oh, I have a monitor turning on over there. Well, we knew a new CPU was going to be installed, so by God, I think we're working.
Got it. Yeah, I still
think
get that
so.
screen right there on my computer, pops up all the time.
I think so. Now we just have to plug in everything else to make sure everything else still works. All we really need to do is find whichever one of these is the keyboard. Because I got a million plugs going on over here.
I'll say, that's some cable management right there.
Yeah. At one time I had everything all pretty.
This little gimbal thing has a mind of its own sometime.
Does it?
Yeah, I was just sitting here and it just like whipped
I don't
hard
think
right.
this is the right. I think that's the camera. No, that's the mouse. That's the keyboard.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh, you got lights.
Can't be longer enable the system will not boot without recovery. Press no. Let's hit Y for the heck of it.
Yeah, I get that screen all the time. I don't know what it is. It's alive.
For the moment. That's okay.
Looking good.
As long as we post to Windows. Hey, we still got 45 minutes to spare. Beautiful.
Good.
I think so.
See, my boy knows what he's doing, y'all. Knows what he's doing. Yo, baby,
Doesn't know how to. Plug this in. So, we still have to test, and this seems like it's going crazy loud. But maybe it's just I say that.
Mine just because it's not sealed up, too.
Well, it's also maybe calibrating something, who knows.
Couldn't
So
find
we
your
need
account info. Restart.
internet. Plug in the internet, that way we're on internet, we're online, we got this. Don't know if the but now what we need to do is we need to find the 4K thing here. Make sure we're online. It's gonna install a bunch of drivers. Perfect. Okay, well, for that stream, I think we will go ahead and end it so that I can do all the boring stuff here and calibrate everything. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and Dubs.
Yo,
And
yo.
hopefully here in a minute, we'll be back up and running. We'll be able to at least record in 4K. Gotta get that all figured out. And I'll be ready to play some Delta
Force.
what was it called? Delta Zone. Delta Force.
Heck
So,
yeah.
thank you guys for hanging out. And we'll catch you guys later.
Later. Hell yeah. Sweet. Yeah, dude, you knocked that out hella quick.
Yeah, now if we can only figure out how to.